Justin Combs, son of music mogul Diddy, is making headlines, this time not for the spotlight, but for a legal run-in that's stirring waves far beyond the tabloids. The situation's unfolding fast, and it might just drag his superstar father into deeper waters with federal eyes watching closely.
I think that if we're talking about additional charges and additional defendants, those are probably two of the more likely. And Christian, of course, was the subject of a civil lawsuit where there was a sexual assault allegation naming him directly. So I think if we're going to cast a bit of a wider net, people are talking about family members, other celebrities, maybe some employees like Christian Forum, but I think the most likely would be those two sons.
Why do you think it's the most likely about those two? Just because of the recordings, the allegations against him? What are you thinking?
I think so. I think obviously they're just civil allegations and those cases are going to be put on hold while the criminal case plays out. But, there is some smoke there. And obviously, there's a presumption of innocence and there's a lower standard in a civil case. But you have someone who's been named directly as someone who participated in a sexual assault, and everything else has been rumors and speculation. But here you at least have one verified complaint.
And you know what's interesting about this situation? It's the sexual assault civil allegation filed by Grace Omar K. This is against Christian Combs, as you're referring to it. And Diddy is a co-defendant in this case because she says he facilitated it. It was on a yacht that Diddy had rented. But it was Christian, the one who allegedly sexually assaulted her. I mean, so how does all of that relate? The fact that we have Diddy, who's also part of this, but it's mostly on Christian in this instance?
Picture a powerful entertainment dynasty suddenly shaken by legal storms, fraud claims, a DUI, and a wave of unexpected trouble. As the headlines piled up, the question loomed, could this be the beginning of Diddy's unraveling? This past spring, news choppers swarmed the skies over his luxury estates while law enforcement carried out a bold raid that gripped the public's attention. Though seeing Diddy Combs wasn't present on March 25th, two of his sons were briefly detained, handcuffed, and then let go, like a scene pulled straight from a high-tension drama.
Niggas don't respect you enough to listen to these niggas gonna be like, what are you talking about? After when they found Twist 12 hours, niggas was gonna blow his brains out. That's Twist, do you understand it? This a vid? No.
Bro, this is archive. Nobody, this ain't going out. I'm just saying,
nowhere. That's cool. It's a call, bro. That's cool. Like you said, niggas don't respect your call, my nigga. Okay, bro, that's pulling niggas car. Niggas say you not from the block, my nigga. Where you from? I'm from Mount Vernon. Okay, and what's up, nigga? What's up? So shake it then. It's okay. Way too much. You doing too much, bro. You doing way too much. I'm not turning down the shut up, bro. Come over here, nigga. This is classic. Oh.
Well, it's significant because anytime that they have the opportunity to continue to remind the public of the malfeasance of Diddy, of Diddy's son, of anything related to sexually inappropriate behavior, sexual assault, it helps. It helps the government continue to, lay out the narrative of how bad Diddy was, how bad Diddy's son was. So I think it's consistent with, what they've been doing, putting it out there and really destroying his character. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything to deserve it. I'm saying it's consistent with what they're doing, whether it's the government or the lawyers that are suing him civilly.
The Combs family is no stranger to legal headlines. Just last year, Justin faced arrest in Los Angeles for a DUI, a case he managed to resolve without serving time, thanks to a carefully crafted legal agreement. But now, fresh questions are rising fast. Could this latest brush with the law be just the surface of something deeper? Some wonder if it's a sign of trouble that could eventually put serious pressure on his famous father.
Justin Combs was arrested for a DUI on Sunday morning near Beverly Hills.
No juice.
The 29-year-old was pulled over by police after running how are you drunk at 9 in the morning? Was pulled after running a red light after a preliminary investigation, was cuffed on suspicion of driving under the influence. While further detail remains scarce, Justin was booked on a misdemeanor and DUI charge, and his bond was set at $5,000. After news of his arrest hit the headlines, Justin Combs' mother, Misa Hilton, took to her Instagram stories to fire off a series of angry messages aimed at Diddy. I'm not protecting no one anymore, just my son. She began the statement, the fish rots from the head down means that in addition to being a major contributing factor in a family or organization's success, leadership is also the root because of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free. Act bad, she added, referencing Puff's latest single with City Girls and Fabulous Act Bad, Bad Boy. I used to want to be a bad girl. I chose to be a queen, tried and true. I'm not perfect, but I am intentional. I should have kept my child with me. You said LA too. Oh, she's bugging. She added, everybody can get it. How you go from one of the greatest to ever do it to making money to making all of your money off alcohol and suing the damn alcohol company. Sell something healthy that builds people up. I'm sick of it. Not mine. Everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you. Hilton concluded her rant. This is where the buck stops for me. If anything ever happened to my son, God forbid, what is anyone going to say to me when we all know whose fault it would be?
Reports are coming out that Puff Daddy's oldest son, y'all, was arrested today, y'all, on DUI charges. This is what they're saying, y'all. It's a lot of people getting arrested for DUIs lately at the same time, y'all. So Diddy's eldest son, Justin Combs, was arrested for DUI charge this weekend in LA. This is what, sources is reporting, media outlets. Law enforcement sources tell us Justin was arrested Sunday morning near Beverly Hills after a cop saw a vehicle run a red light. And this occurred around 8 a.m. And the incident was also, shot by an eyewitness. So they recorded it, y'all. They recorded it. And pictures obtained by, TMZ and, media outlets, you can see Justin interacting with the officer. So they put him in handcuffs and stuff, and he was arrested, y'all. We're told the officer initiated a traffic stop where Justin was found to be the driver. After a preliminary investigation, sources are telling, us that the cop felt there was enough, probable cause to handcuff him and haul him to jail on suspicion of driving under the influence, y'all.
Beyond the bold headlines lies a tangled web of legal battles and mounting claims connecting Diddy and his children in ways few expected. Once a towering figure in music and business, the billionaire mogul now faces serious allegations that are casting long shadows over his legacy. While much of the legal focus centers on Diddy himself, the ripple effects have reached his sons, pulling them into the spotlight as the pressure surrounding the family continues to grow.
John Diddy Combs' legal troubles continue. The disgraced music mogul has been hit with a third superseding indictment filed by federal prosecutors in New York April 3rd, adding 2 counts to his pre-existing charges. While Combs was charged with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, as well as transportation to engage in prostitution back in September, which he's previously denied and pled not guilty, the new indictment, obtained by NBC News, adds 1 count of sex trafficking and 1 count of prostitution to his charges. The new counts of sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution expand upon the years of the alleged events, including allegations from 2021 and 2024. In reference to the additional sex trafficking count, the new indictment refers to an unnamed person, victim 2, and claims Combs attempted, aided and abetted, and willfully caused victim 2 to engage in commercial sex acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. The indictment later adds, in the new count of transportation to engage in prostitution, Combs willfully caused the transportation of multiple individuals, included but not limited to victim 2 and commercial sex workers, in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in prostitution. Combs is currently in jail and awaiting the start of his trial in May. In a statement to E! News, the rapper's legal team says of the superseding indictment, these are not new accusers. These are the same individuals, former long-term girlfriends, involved in consensual relationships. This was their private sex life, defined by consent, not coercion.
It is an actual lawsuit filed by an attorney in federal court about Diddy and an alleged freak-off that went down in Miami in April 2015. So exactly 10 years ago. They say this was a party for Diddy's son, King Combs, but all the names involved here are huge. Huge. Talking Beyonce, Jay-Z, LeBron James. Now, and all of those people are just witnesses, according to this lawsuit.
And strangely enough, Gloria Estefan.
The
rhythm is going to get you, Gloria Estefan.
Yes.
And her husband, Emilio.
Yes. And now, again, all witnesses. Emilio is actually a defendant in this lawsuit, along with Diddy. But here is the story as told by a man named Joseph Manzaro in this lawsuit that we obtained this morning. He says that he showed up at this party, or woke up at this party, and didn't understand how he got there, that he's insinuating clearly that he'd been drugged, but woke up and at one point saw Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan, and Gloria is saying, hey, we need to get him medical help because he's too drugged up.
Get an ambulance, get him out of here.
And according to Manzaro, Emilio steps in and says, no, we're not doing that, and shoves Gloria out of the way, and then they take this guy through a tunnel from the Estefan's house to Diddy's home. Now, this is on Star Island in Miami. They do actually live near each other. So that part of it is, that's a fact that anybody can find.
Sure.
But what happened once he got into this party at Diddy's house is outrageous. And I know we're supposed to take every lawsuit seriously because we don't know. We weren't there. The Gloria Estefan part.
Offering an insider's perspective, DUI defense attorney Randall Innes, who brings nearly 20 years of experience and a background as a former state trooper, explains how cases like Justin Combs can steer clear of jail time. The evidence was strong, Innes notes, but with skilled defense and the right strategy, even a clear-cut case can result in probation instead of prison. This raises deeper questions. Can Justin once again secure a favorable outcome? And could Diddy's powerful legal team deploy similar tactics to push back against the serious charges now casting a shadow over his freedom and legacy?
Really, the prosecutor's office is the only one who can drop charges. There's this misnomer that, we talked about domestic assault earlier, where husband and wife, been married 20 years, never had an incident, had too much to drink one night, something got out of hand. Look, we don't want the courts involved. We're good. Once that 911 call is made, it's too late. That ball is rolling. So, but can you get them dismissed? Yes, you can. And there's a few other ways to do it. A lot of times, we set things for trial. For appearance of essential witnesses, people don't appear. Like if someone doesn't want to prosecute, there's also a way to get them dismissed by just working the case up aggressively, taking the alleged victim's deposition, which is their sworn statement under oath, and challenging them on, their credibility, their history.
Well, I mean, your son is a grown-ass man at this point.
Yeah, that's dumb as fuck.
He's a grown-ass man.
But you know how it is with these younger. How old are you, Skinny?
27.
Okay, so you're not that generation. The younger generations, like that are currently like 23 and below, these fools are late-ass boomers.
Facts.
Who? Him?
All of them. Especially someone that's super duper rich.
Seen it.
Super duper rich?
When you've been
I'm saying the late bloomer shit.
No, the late bloomer. But imagine being super duper rich. My boy been chilling.
Damn near 30, right?
Oh, this was 29?
Yeah, but that's damn near 30.
Kid.
Well, he's still coddled being a little rich boy.
She's blaming his dad that this nigga's going to be 30. Bro, I get it. When you're a teenager, yes, I feel like how the way you act is mainly environment, you feel me, who raised you, and a little bit of genetics. Feel me? Environment, where you was raised, how you was raised, and a little bit of genetics. So once you get to a certain age, bro, you an adult. Yeah, you were raised by your environment, but now it comes a point in your age, bro, where you got to take it upon yourself to fix whatever you feel like maybe lacking mental wise. If you got to go get some therapy, whatever you got to do. once you're an adult, it's up to you to fix that shit. You can't blame that shit on your parents after you get a certain age, bro. Like, you just got to get it together, you know? You can't keep blaming your parents or how they raised you when you're fucking 30.
And he could have hurt somebody.
That's a fact. He could definitely could have killed somebody.
DUIs.
Facts. I've never driven drunk.
Like, you just don't do that.
I've never driven drunk. I don't need to. I don't drink once.
I've never been caught drinking and driving.
You bugging.
You're putting everybody at risk when you
finna kill everybody.
I don't get drunk though. I just be having like.
Justin's DUI arrest in Los Angeles followed a familiar script: running a red light, failing a sobriety test, and registering a blood alcohol level over the legal limit. On the surface, it seemed like a clear-cut traffic offense. But in the world of celebrity justice, nothing is ever that simple. A $5,000 bond and brief detention sparked headlines and stirred public reaction. The spotlight quickly widened, not just on Justin, but on the high-profile family behind him. As comparisons are drawn, critics are now speculating whether Justin's legal misstep could foreshadow what's ahead for Diddy himself, especially as the music icon faces mounting allegations that could bring serious consequences.
Audio recordings, and we know how powerful video evidence is. We've talked about it with Cassie Ventura and how that really maybe even shift the direction of this case entirely, because of course Combs denied everything until CNN got a hold of that video in May. And we're talking about a lawsuit that was filed in April, I believe. And again, I don't know if it's true, but the allegations are that much of this was recorded and there's audio recordings. And if so, and she's saying no, and Christian is moving forward anyway, then you have attempted sexual assault.
Talking about audio and video recordings, that's what's huge in this case. I mean, we heard a lot about it from Cassie and her lawsuit, then of course Lil Rod, and now confirmed in the federal indictment that the feds are saying, yep, we've got some, and that's what led to this indictment and his charges. But what's interesting is that in Lil Rod's lawsuit, he actually has photos, like screenshots of a recording of Justin Combs, and he says it's allegedly with a sex worker. Do you think that part is incriminating too, that the feds may be looking at that recording?
I do. And during Combs' initial appearance before the new Judge Subramanian, there was some discussion of this, and Christian and Justin were in court as well, supporting their father. But the feds were talking about the 96 different electronic devices they seized and the terabytes and terabytes of data. Now, some of it might not be relevant, but some of it may be very much on point, because going back to Cassie's original allegation, Combs reportedly recorded many of these sex.
But this is where the story takes a sharp and unexpected turn. While Justin's DUI case appears to have been handled through calculated legal strategy, Diddy's situation is far more complex. Recent federal actions out of New York have introduced a new wave of serious charges, including allegations of unlawful conduct tied to coercion and cross-state activity. These claims paint a picture not just of personal misconduct, but of a potentially organized scheme. It leaves observers asking, can the legal finesse that helped Justin avoid jail time work at the federal level for Diddy? Or has the weight of these mounting allegations already set his fate in motion?
And it says that on November 19th, 2024, there was proof of service by posting. This was filed by Grace O'Markey. And also on November 19th, 2024, it says proof of service by posting filed by Grace O'Markey as to Christian Combs, the defendant. And then it talks about the service costs, and it talks about the mailing date. The mailing date was apparently October 23rd, 2024. So what's interesting about that is, and again, if I'm reading it correctly, isn't that a long period of time between filing and proof of service? Unless I'm missing something.
It is, but there are situations where people could be evading service. You can't find them, and what you really want is personal service. And posting basically means that they literally did that. They posted the lawsuit, and there's some states that allow for posting. There's some states that allow for substitute service, and there's some states that allow for posting only after you've made certain requisite attempts. So it's very possible that they had been trying to personally serve them. They gave up, and then they went ahead and posted it. It is rare to see that many months pass, but you have multiple defendants in this case, and I believe that they filed it. It was in the media. They're working on it, so it isn't completely that rare to see this many months pass. When you're dealing with celebrity clients, you're dealing with clients that have a layer of security that prohibits you from actually serving them like you would a regular person.
Jesse, great to be on as always. And I guess better late than never when it comes to the Department of Justice. But really, 1 month before trial is late. And that's why accompanying the superseding indictment, the third superseding indictment, is a letter to the court essentially saying, this doesn't change anything. We've already produced the evidence in discovery. We've produced the witness statements, the victim statements under the Jenks Act. So Diddy and his team, they have everything because they know the judge is probably going to give them a hard time for this indictment so close to the trial. Now, we know that Diddy doesn't want to push the trial because he's in custody without bail. But typically, if you go to the grand jury this late, this is a very good excuse and a reason for the defense to ask for a continuance.
Absolutely. And I think it would have been granted. I really think it would have been granted. Now, not saying that that's what they're going to do here. And I'll get into the defense's response or lack thereof, which I think is interesting. But now I want to get into the indictment. So, first of all, this new indictment makes the same overall claim. Quote, for decades, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. And a prior superseding indictment updated the date range for the allegations against Combs, pushing it back from 2008 to 2004, claiming that between 2004 and 2024 is what's referred to as Combs' enterprise committed various crimes like arson, kidnapping, drug possession, and to convict Combs on the racketeering charge, the government is relying on trying to prove these underlying crimes that were committed in furtherance.
As legal analysts weigh in on the possible outcomes of Diddy's upcoming trial set for May 5, 2025, the drama unfolding beyond the courtroom is proving just as captivating. The Combs family, no strangers to fame or public pressure, has been standing firmly by his side. In a notable move, his son King Combs took over Diddy's Instagram, posting emotional messages that cast the music mogul in a more personal light during this time of intense scrutiny. But this show of unity raises new questions. Are these heartfelt gestures true signs of family loyalty or carefully timed efforts to sway public opinion, and perhaps even influence the atmosphere surrounding the trial?
Diddy's son, Christian King Combs, just announced that he is taking over his father's Instagram, and he posted this video message to Diddy's almost 20 million followers.
What's up, y'all? It's King Combs, and right now I'm taking over my pop's Instagram. We're gonna be posting videos by spreading, good energy and taking y'all down memory lane, all the positive things he did. So stay tuned and watch this. Let's go. We love you, Pops. Happy birthday.
Now, this, of course, is in relation for the fact that it was just Sean Combs' 55th birthday. His children, in fact, posted a video of them wishing their father a happy birthday while you can hear him in the background as he's on the call at the Metropolitan Detention Center. I said this before. It was the first time we actually heard Sean Combs' voice since all of this went down, since his arrest and his indictment. But since Christian took over the account has posted several times. First, it was the music video for Diddy's 1997 hit, It's All About the Benjamins. It also had the caption, my pop's motivation to making music is always to make us dance and feel good. Happy birthday, Pop. Then there was a post featuring the 1998 music video for Victory. The caption read, P. Diddy and the fam, who you know do it better. And in that actual video, he's kind of running away from law enforcement and authorities. And the latest post, at least at the time of this recording, was a 1994 behind-the-scenes video of a recording session with Diddy and Notorious B.I.G.
Adding another twist to the unfolding saga, former bodyguard Gene Deal recently suggested in an exclusive interview that one of Diddy's sons might be preparing to take the fall for weapons charges tied to the recent FBI raid. With questions swirling around defaced firearms and unclear ownership, Deal's remarks have only fueled speculation. Could this be yet another example of a family member stepping in to shield the head of the household, potentially deepening the controversy? The implications are significant. If a son were to accept blame, what does that reveal about the inner workings of the Combs dynasty and the lengths it might go to protect its legacy?
That's going to be hard to prove that they're his weapons. They're going to have to prove that they was his weapons because he had other grown people living in there. And plus, that house, I believe, was in a corporation name. So they're going to have to get maids, butlers, cleaning people, or somebody that's in that house to have a daily contact to say that was his room that they found those weapons in. And then the weapons wasn't operable. You had to put them together, as far as I know, for them to be operable. So he may have had weapons there, or he may not. One of his sons, he got sons. Somebody's going to have to claim it. They just put it on him. Anything they found in the house, they just put it on him. But they had to prove that that was him. If other people were living in the house, other people had access to that room that they found the weapons in. Now, it's not illegal to have those weapons, but it's illegal to deface those weapons. And that's what the person and the penalty of the individual they may have. One of his sons might take it. Oh, that was me. Oh, Christian might take it. Christian want to be a gangster. He a gangster, right? He might take it.
At its heart, this unfolding drama is a stark study in contrasts. On one side, Justin's DUI case offers a glimpse into how celebrity legal troubles can be navigated, and often softened, with the right defense team. On the other, Diddy's situation plunges into a complex maze of serious allegations, ranging from racketeering to forced labor, exposing a darker side of the criminal world. Yet in both stories, the undeniable shadow of privilege looms large as powerful figures leverage their wealth and influence to steer legal outcomes. This isn't just a legal battle. It's a gripping examination of power, fortune, and the lengths people will go to protect their legacies.
Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3, to engage in commercial sex acts. In connection with the commercial sex acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. Okay, so again, that was count 1 in the second superseding indictment. But now, Combs is facing a new individual sex trafficking charge against victim 2. And it reads, quote, from at least in or about 2021 up to and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs, and then it says, recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained victim 2 and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim 2 to engage in commercial sex acts, knowing and in reckless disregard for the fact that victim 2 was engaging in commercial sex acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. Nima, why do this? Why create this separate charge for victim 2?
Jesse, the reason you want to create a separate charge for victim 2 is because you have that and language. And again, I'm not saying this is highly likely, but it's a possibility. The government's saying that Diddy sex trafficked victim 1, 2, and 3. Well, for some reason, the jurors think that Diddy sex trafficked 3, but not 2. You're going to get a not guilty on that count. So they separated it out, really out of an abundance of caution.
As this gripping saga unfolds, one thing becomes clear. Every twist in the Combs family story is deeply connected. For viewers, it raises powerful questions. Is Justin's arrest the first domino in the collapse of a vast family empire? Could it reveal a hidden web of deceit forcing Diddy's hand? Or is it just another calculated move in a high-stakes battle to survive? To stay ahead of every shocking update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.